The current event topic that I chose is about the Syrian Uprising. So, to start, I researched a few reasons for the uprising. The first is the political repression. So, the president during this time is President Bashar al-Assad. He took over after his father passed away. He didn't want to change too many things in the way his father ran Syria, so he kept it the same for the most part, and this didn't go over too well with the Syrians. The second reasoning for the uprising is the uneven economy. In Syria, jobs were scarce before the uprising, and Assad did nothing to change this and help the Syrians, so it made the Syrians unhappy with Assad. The third point is corruption. Corruption in Syria was really bad. Those without money filed grievances against the government, causing the uprising. And there was another factor. Just to give you an example of how corrupt Syria is, citizens bought weapons off Assad's government to help them defend themselves from Assad. The fourth reasoning is state violence. In Syria, Assad's military would make unreasonable arrests, executions, and there were other violent acts they committed against its people. The fifth reason is the population surge. In Syria, they had a population spike, and in 2011, the UN ranked it the highest populated country in the world. So with this, it led to lack of jobs, food, and schooling, which struck anger in the government by the Syrians. So in April 2011, this is when the protests stopped and the Syrians turned violent and war started to break out. There were many battles that happened all throughout cities in Syria, and the Syrian people got extremely violent. There were soldiers that were on Assad's side who had left his force and started fighting for the civilians against Assad. Those soldiers realized what Assad was planning on doing to Syria and its people and disagreed with him. The government got to the point where they began to use chemical weapons and warfare on its own people in order to try and stop the civil war and the Syrian rebels. Innocent people, women, children, they have all been affected by this terrible act by the government. It has been said that the Syrian government and Assad have used chemical weapons against their people around 50 times. There has been foreign involvement by countries. The Syrian government is called the Ba'athist government. They are receiving military support from Russia and Iran. The Ba'athist government is also getting aid from Russia, Iran, Iraq, Belarus, and China. They're all in support of the Ba'athist government. Countries like the U.S., United Kingdom, Libya, Saudi Arabia, and Turkey are all alongside with the Syrian rebels. The Syrian opposition, which are the Syrian rebels, receive financial, logistical, and political support from all the countries that are on their side, such as the U.S. and Great Britain. This is important that they have support because they are backed by very powerful countries who can help them get through this time. These countries supplied the Syrian rebels by dropping air supplies that contain food, water, and whatever necessities they may need, such as medical, clothing. The U.S. has also aided support using military forces by performing airstrikes and ballistic threats against the Syrian government. Today's situation. As of March 2017, there have been 3,731 civilians killed by extreme Islamic groups in Syria. There have been Russian forces that have killed 1,154 children in Syria. There's also been 12,882 deaths caused by torture from Syrian regime forces. In June of 2017, there have been over 8,772 airstrikes conducted by the U.S. in Syria. And in conclusion, this war has divided a country and has turned all of its people against each other and the government. And it has been said that there is no end in the near future.